Here is BeamNG.drive, a physics simulating video game that allows you to experience what happens with the real laws of physics inside the game. Alright, so in this video, we're going to be demonstrating Newton's third law of motion in particular, and Newton's third law of motion states that for every action there is an opposite and equal reaction. Okay, so we'll start with this very large bus here, and you can see there's a very small gray car over there in the distance that cycles around. If you zoom in, you'll see it all the way out there. So what we're going to do is we're going to send the bus flying at high speed towards the car, and we're going to see what should happen is, according to Newton's third law of motion, the car should be severely damaged and the bus should be only slightly damaged because of the bus's large mass. Okay, here we go. So we're going to come at it with a very high speed. Here we go. Okay, we just hit both of those vehicles and another, and another. Okay, we've hit multiple vehicles at a very high rate of speed. That was about maybe 50 or 60 mph there. Okay. You can see the bus is slightly destroyed in the front, but not completely destroyed. Let's cycle back around some of the vehicles. This one we didn't hit. This one we hit severely, as you can see. It's a mess. So while this van is kind of large, it still has a much smaller mass relative to the bus. The car over here is utterly destroyed. So was this other vehicle. And this one as well. And this one we haven't tested yet. Okay, so now we see what happens when a very large vehicle like that hits another. Okay, so now we're going to try something slightly different. We're going to use this here truck. And what we're going to do is we're going to ram it headlong into a non-moving object. In this case, it's going to be a concrete wall like the one you see over there. Now the wall, whenever you hit something, this is going to sound strange, but because of Newton's third law, whenever you hit a wall, for example, or something like that, the wall hits back. Now, an arm isn't going to come out of the wall and punch you in the face. That's not how it works. But if you hit a wall, it'll hit back with exactly the same force you hit the wall with. That's because of Newton's third law. So, if we hit the wall in this truck here, the wall will hit back with the exact same force that the truck hit the wall. Let's test this out. Right. Here we go. Impact in. Boom. Okay. As you can see, the wall was barely impacted. Of course, now it's going to fall over. The truck is an utter disaster, of course, now as the wall falls over. But, as you can see there, the wall pushed back with... Engine oil critically low. The wall pushed back with the same amount of force as the truck hit the wall. Okay. Alright. So, now we're going to perform a slightly different demonstration, but of course with a new vehicle, a different truck, because this one's been utterly destroyed. Okay. And this will be a medium mass test of a medium vehicle, not a bus, just a truck, hitting another vehicle. In this case, a smaller car. Okay. So we're going to get a new vehicle spawned. Alright. Now what we're going to do is going to start moving toward one of those cars in the distance with an aim to hitting one of them. So, like, take this yellow car. If we hit it at like 30 mph, not much damage is done because, one, the speed of the impact wasn't that high. The time of the impact wasn't that high. Of course, as you can see, the car was damaged the most, although there is some damage here as well. Okay. Now, also according to Newton's third law, the smaller the mass of an object, the more it gets impacted when hit by larger objects. So for example, if you have a bug hitting the windshield of a car and moving at 60 mph, the bug will be utterly killed and splattered all over the windshield, while the car will of course suffer no deceleration. Now, speaking of deceleration, let's look at another aspect of Newton's third law. So, you'll notice that whenever an object, say this truck, hits another object, it will decelerate a certain amount based on the mass of the other vehicle. So let's say we were to ram into one of these concrete walls over here. Let's see what happens. They have set up. Okay, the vehicle should see it instantly decelerates to 0. And this was because the mass of this here ramp is high enough that the vehicle is able to immediately decelerate. Okay. Now, as we saw earlier, when it hit the other car, it didn't decelerate as much. It only decelerated by 5 to 10 miles per hour and then kept going. Alright, so in this video, we've seen, the crash here, all different aspects of different vehicles hitting different kinds of objects. We've had a large bus hitting a small car. We've also had a large bus hitting a wall, in addition to a small car hitting a large car. And we've seen the changes according to Newton's third law in acceleration and deceleration of those vehicles. Okay,